I said in 2023 there will be official confirmation that rollerblading will be back in the X Games. And the reason why I say this too is because of the collabs as well. And there's a lot of recognition with skateboarding. And I know we shouldn't piggyback off skateboarding, but I'm sure that's a big reason why rollerblading isn't in the X Games. Rollerblading wasn't in the X Games, and rollerblading was held back from the X Games for so long. And I feel that now, with a little bit more respect from the skateboarding world, people at the X Games, the higher ups, will see that and be like, oh, the numbers are growing. This looks a little more promising. We have had rollerblading in the past. We know what it's about. We could do this again. And I'm sure on the board of X Games, whoever's in charge, there are some skateboarders on there whose minds might have changed in the last year or so about rollerblading being part of it. So I could see something like that happening. It's kind of a shot in the dark because it might never happen again. Who knows? And it's been talked about for 15 or so years at this point. But this is my wild out there prediction that there will be an official confirmation that rollerblading will be in the X Games.
That is a wild out there prediction.
Clip that, by the way, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it, but maybe. And I don't want to be a negative Nancy. I think X Games is kind of lame. Like in my opinion, like I don't think like the core people of like the people who I like to watch in each sport aren't normally doing the X Games. Like X Games is a way for corporate companies to make money off of young talent, So if they want to use us, that could be beneficial for us in some way, giving us that platform. But I don't mean to be negative, but I that would be cool. That would be huge. So I don't know. Let me not shoot down what you're saying. Clip that and let's see if it happens. All respect.
Well, I completely agree with that.
In that same light, I think we're going to see more happen with. I think we'll do more with BMX and maybe scootering and roller skating, because I see those cultures as closer to ours in terms of where we're at in terms of our health versus skateboarding. Skateboarding is like this kind of bigger its own entity. There's like they got like multiple pros who are like millionaires. They're like, every company that wants to make money uses skateboarding, like Bagel Bites to freaking Netflix to whoever was like, oh, just throw a skateboard on it and we could sell it. I feel like BMX and scootering and roller skating is like closer to where we are as an industry of like on the outskirts. So I see us banding together with them maybe more this year. That would be, but skateboarding is always welcome. I'm not like against skateboarding, like a lot of my good buddies skateboard. Bolino is a great skateboarder, and I see those collaborations or those like interactions happening with other sports as well. Like I can see us maybe doing something with them.
That's an interesting one too, because we haven't had those types of collaborations yet on a big scale. I do agree with you saying about I personally wouldn't care too much either if rollerblading was on the X Games or not. I haven't cared in the last however many years, and I've enjoyed skating now more than ever. But there is, I guess, like a market or audience for it. It's like very feasty.
It's good.
It's good with Feast. Feast is like very similar to the X Games, and rollerblading is huge in the Feast, and there are a huge demographic of skaters who would fit that mold of like being an X Games skater and representing the sport and stuff like that. It's not necessarily me or you or the people that we like to watch skating, but there is something out there. I don't know how the process goes of if rollerblading were to be in the X Games. I don't know who they ask or whatever. I don't know if they ask all the company owners. I don't know how the hell that works, but I'm curious if somehow in whatever way possible, X Games came to rollerblading and was like, we want you in the X Games next year. It's on kind of your terms, how you
Who do they come to? Who would they come to? They would have to go to John Julio. Right?
I was thinking that too, because like
X Games goes to John Julio.
I'm curious what somebody like John would think about that too, because John is clearly trying to expand skating outside of skating itself, right?
I think everyone with a brain would be down. Like,
and
not
everybody financially invested too, because that means money in everyone's pocket. Hopefully, money in everyone's pocket.
Right.
It depends on the terms and everything.
If they called me, everything I just said about how I don't care, I don't respect them. If they called me and were like, "Hey, dude, we want to, can you help us get blading on X Games?" I'd say, "Of course," because I care about the future of skating and I want to get more kids on skates and I want to see our industry thrive and be healthy. So yeah, for sure,
exactly. And I'm seeing people in the chat too. A lot of people like, "Fuck the X Games. Why we want to be in the X Games? This and that."
Right.
And true, fuck the X Games.
No, true.
But if X Games came to us and was like, "Yo, we want you in next year, the X Games. It's going to be perfect however it was before. We're all going to laugh and sing and hold hands and yada, yada, yada." Nobody's going to say no. Like, no, I don't think anybody would say no. People who are company owners who want more money, who want to see rollerblading grow, more eyes on rollerblading, nobody is going to say no in the end of the day. So
no, you know what it is? It's kind of like when that when you're in like high school and that hot girl that you dated breaks your heart and you're like, yo, if she comes back, man, I don't even whatever. She's not even anything special to me. But if she comes back and she's like, "Hey, so you want to hang out?" You're like, "Yes." It's kind of like that.
Yes. I pictured you in
yes,
when you said that.
I do. Yeah. But I don't know.
That's my wild prediction, though.
Yeah. Hey, that's a pretty good one. It's
out there. Probably won't happen, but just throwing it out there with the way that skating's been going, especially last year with the weekend collaboration, the respect from skateboarders. Not that we need the respect, but I'm just saying it is there now and could change the influence.
It's nice to see all that, to see stuff start to go in a more positive direction. Like, even around here, I've said it a few times on the podcast, we skate like Cherry. There's people on skateboards, bikes, scooters, and everyone's showing each other respect because, well, that's you would think it's common sense, but not so much because we as humans think in terms of individuals and in terms of being members of groups. So as members of groups and newer religious perspectives, which could be I'm a blader, this is who I am. I'm a skateboarder, this is who I am. And the defense of those cultures and ideas, you can kind of be against other things, but see those things kind of melt away and dissipate. I think there it leaves an opportunity open for things that could be, like you're saying.
Yeah, and also I forgot about this, but X Games themselves asked their audience what they want to see back in the X Games or in the X Games, and rollerblading took it easy. It was, I forgot what the categories were, but like a year or two ago, X Games they themselves asked their audience what you would like to see in the X Games, and rollerblading won by a long shot. It was a landslide victory. So it has to have been in their mind since then, at least. I mean, probably before that. So over the years, it's probably been in their minds. They might internally be working on something or have it on the back burner, and something like that weekend collaboration could push it over the edge. You never know.